end up in the skill tree where we learn how to do just about everything. Now I have a special and kind of weird episode for you today, so I'm gonna level with you. I am traveling for the rest of this week and I have literally one day to get projects to you. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun to try to bang out a few projects that are easy to do and have a specific theming to them. Namely, fun things for LARPs or whatever kind of fantasy setting you're in. Though, as always, all of these skills can be used for really whatever you want to do. So I have 3 projects for you to do today that are really easy to do, but I think come out looking really cool. So without much further ado, let's jump into it and level up. I don't know what skills actually. We're just gonna hang out today, I guess. Okay, before we jump into this properly, I did receive a new toy that I'm going to be playing with for this episode. Namely this X-Tool P2 laser cutter. That being said, it isn't like an official sponsorship or anything. They sent me this thing and they're like, we just hope you use it. Like, I'm not being paid for it. Though I guess you could say the machine is payment, but there's no parameters. They're not like, say this or whatever. Though I was very careful to make sure everything we approach here today, I'm gonna show you ways to do it without this thing. As I said, I have a day to get this stuff done, and that thing is like a force multiplier. It's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna hit the ground running hard. One of the more popular episodes that I've done before was making some lamps. Namely, this one here. Basically just taking some lamps that you can buy on Amazon and fixing them up to look more fantasy. Though soon after we launched that episode, all those lamps sold out. Which is kind of cool to be able to like sell out a whole product line. The basis for this are these 2 sheets of 3mm basswood. Now, though I am going to be, again, making cuts with this laser cutter, the reason I chose basswood is because you can just cut it out with a razor knife. So as you can see here, I measure out where I want to cut and then frame that in by 1/2 inch. Then I simply cut out that square and then cut the outside perimeter to make this frame, which is like 80% of what this thing is going to be. You basically cut 4 frames the same size and then, yeah, you stick them together with some tissue paper behind it, mount it on a little plinth, and bam, you have a little table lamp. Now, since I do have the cutter, I decided to get a little bit fancy, and using the program, I just dropped in my logo here. Then I placed the basswood into the cutter and set this bad boy working. And again, this is not a sponsorship, but man, do I love this thing. And I know there's been some issues in the past where like I'll do an episode that has a laser cutter and people are like, well, I can't afford that or whatever, which is totally fair and valid. This is an expensive piece of machinery. But if you're somebody who's looking to like start a shop, like an Etsy shop or something, these things can't be beat. They just bust things out so fast. And once done, look at how cleanly this thing was cut. Oh my God, I love it so much. Okay, so with all those pieces out, I decided I wanted to color them black, so I just laid them down on a piece of cardboard and hit them with some spray paint. Anyways, once the paint on the wooden pieces dried, it was time to add this kind of diffuser material here. For this, I'm just using some simple tissue paper that I picked up at Michael's. All I do is take this tacky spray here and spray the backs of those little wooden cutouts. Then simply plop them down onto the paper. I found it helpful if you kind of pull the paper a little bit as you go, just to make sure it's nice and tight. Then I just make sure they're firmly stuck down into place. Once they are, I went back in with my X-Acto knife and just traced around the border to cut them out. And check that out, super easy and it looks perfect. Like, that's so cool. This is gonna help really diffuse that light and kind of hide the fact that we're gonna be using like fake candles in this. Cause it is tissue paper, right? If you had it outside and it started raining or something, they're gonna melt away. But if you did want to put it outside, all you need is like a plastic or a plexiglass of some sort with like, there's a spray paint that makes that kind of opaque texture. Stick this to that and then this could totally be outside, absolutely. Now, if you're looking to put something together that's a lot more intricate and the basswood's giving you trouble with that, I found that regular old 3mm cardboard works excellent. And you can cut it out with an X-Acto knife, so you can get a lot more intricate shapes in there. Like, check out how good these cut out. Not only that, but they're actually really strong. Like, if they feel almost just as strong as the wooden ones. Okay, so now to turn these panels into an actual lamp, all I did was use a square to make sure they were nice and lined up. Once they were, I busted out my hot glue gun and added a bead all along that corner to keep it together. Then I just repeated this, lining everything up and tacking it together to make my little box. Though once it is that little box, I want it to sit on some sort of a plinth or something so that like if you were to pick it up, the candle comes with it and it looks a little bit more fleshed out. But this is dead simple. All I did was go back to that basswood and use my razor knife to cut out a square that was about 1/8 inch bigger than the base of that candle holder. Then I just stuck it to another piece that I cut out that was 1/8 of an inch bigger than that, giving me this nice little stepped plinth here. I just went ahead and hit that with the same black paint just to make sure it matched everything else. Then I stuck that little box right on top of it, and again used the hot glue gun to lock it into place. And check out how friggin' cute this thing is! It looks so nice in the dark. That paper really diffuses that light and makes the whole thing kind of pop. It looks really cool. And it was stupid easy to make. For the light, I'm just using these kind of battery-powered tea light candles here. But look at that, it's so cute. And if you wanted to, you could add like little strings to it here to hang it or whatever. But I like having it as just a little table lantern, just like so. And of course, once you have this, you can add like a little top to it or anything you want. Use your imagination, but this was a really easy project just to bust out. I can see like cool elven themed ones just kind of scattered around like a secret glade of some sort. Or like a tavern with their logo just kind of in it and around. Again though, super easy to make, really low cost, and I think they're real cute. I like how that came out. Okay, the next two are ones that Maddie and I actually made for Reckoning, but they were so easy and they came out so good that I really wanted to share. The first is like a little badge, or what's called like a belt favor, I think. Basically to show that you are associated with some kind of group, or you like won an award of some sort. So let's say you were at an event and you wanted everybody to know that you were a member of the tree. Well, you'd have a little badge on you that you can wear, and when other people see it, they're like, hey, we're in the same guild of some sort. And to make it is dead easy. For me, I just took this piece of 6-ounce scrap leather that I had lying around, and I added some masking tape to it. This just makes it so that I can have the laser cutter cut it out and put a design into it without burning the leather. But again, if you don't have a laser engraver to do this with, you can totally just tool the leather like we always do on this show. And if you're completely new to tooling leather, check out this playlist up here and I go over it often. But yeah, again, that X-Tool laser engraver, it made super short work of this thing. It looks so good. And since I have the tape on it already, I can just peel it off around the outside rim and dye that space with my dark brown leather dye. I also went ahead and dyed this little strap that's about the same height as the shield. Remember, we want to be able to like hang this on a belt or something, so I'm just making a little loop that we can attach stuff to. Once that dye was dry, I went ahead and removed the rest of the masking tape, and then hit the whole thing with a light brown. Finally, I punched holes through the shield and the strap on both the top and the bottom, then locked them in place with some rivets. Again, this gives me this nifty little loop in the back. It makes it possible to just hang off of things. With that all good, I just sealed it with some resist, and look at how cool this thing is. Super easy project. It looks really good just kind of hanging out on my belt. And this wasn't just an idle project. I'm trying this out because some of you on the Discord have actually asked for exactly this thing. Just the way that when you visit other LARPs and stuff, you know when somebody else is a fan of the show, or when you talk to them on the Discord because you've never actually met them in person before. So I've made 10 of these actually that I'm gonna send out to you guys. I'm gonna send them out randomly, so just leave #tree in the comment section below. Then next episode, I'll call out to the winners and you can reach out to me to tell you where to send them. Also, I keep just saying I slapped my logo on the thing. We're in the process of rebranding this little bad boy, and I kind of like how it's coming out. A little sneak peek with these here. Okay, with that, we have one more thing that we actually use to make game for other people. We thought it'd be really cool if players found pieces of a stone tablet just out in the world. Once they were all brought together, a message could be read on them that they then had to decode. In fact, that's why I made this little decoder here, if you want to check out that episode up there. Basically, all we did was carve the message into a piece of slate, and then we smashed it. Then we took all those pieces and kind of hid them out into the world. I'm going to show you first how we did that on one of these small slate coasters, on which I've drawn the Elvish characters for basically S and T. You know, for a skill tree. See what I did there? Perfect. Then I just went back in with my Dremel with a diamond burr bit and carved it out. It really is just that easy. This stuff carves out pretty well. So with that, you can make like a big picture or some kind of a tablet of some sort. Either break it like we did and have people find it and make a puzzle out of it, or just have it there in the world for people to try to like find. I decided to go one up with this thing while I'm having fun with this laser, and I actually used this kind of cheese board slate that I had and stuck that into my laser cutter. Then I added some coded text in the same rune language that I used for the other one, and set that baby burning. And look at how good this comes out. Like, it's super clear. I was gonna show you at first, like, now you break it, and then you have it as a puzzle piece. But I like it so much, I think I'm just gonna keep it. And it takes the coder to read it, but it's basically the channel description. That's all this is. which I kind of think is fitting. I'm gonna put this up somewhere. I like that. And there you have it, some super easy projects that you can bust out at home to make your next fantasy roleplay or D&D adventure or whatever more engaging. It's funny, whenever I'm in a rush like this, I always come up with like little things that I know I can bang out fast, and I always like them so much more than some of my bigger things. Like, I can just see the potential in stuff like this, and it's so much fun. Again, special thank you to Xtool for letting me try out your laser. Honestly, it's my new favorite tool. And though this isn't that kind of like sponsorship or anything, I would honestly recommend trying out their products. I love this one. I'm super engaged with it. Now remember, I will be giving some of these away like I mentioned earlier, but this is an episode full of giveaways because I have one more thing to give away to you. Literally one. Only one person can win this one. This is a bullwhip. And this was a gift made and sent to me by Discord user Alucard. The cool thing is though, he made two. He made one for me and one for one of you. So if you want to win this thing, leave hashtag crack down in the comment section below. That should make the algorithm real happy with me. And I took some video of me using it. Look at how good these things crack. Ah, it's so good. Seriously, this is really well made, and I'm greatly enjoying playing with mine. Huge thank you to Alucard. I really, really appreciate it. Now, if you'd like to peruse what other wares they make, I left a link to them in the description below. Definitely go check them out. Now, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little bit random, but still, I hope you had fun. If you did want to give me some of that like and love, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't release new content. In the meantime, though, keep leveling up, you. You made it to the end screen. YouTube loves when you do that. You've made it to the end screen. YouTube loves it when you do that. It's a great way to support this channel. Another great way to support this channel is by joining these people's noble ranks. These are our Patreon members, and honestly, this ship don't sail without them. They are the light of my life, the wind beneath my wings. And I'd like to welcome our newest high tier level Patreon members, Chris Liebrant, Nate and Mick, and Richard Moore. Again, thank you so much. It means the world to me that you like what I do here enough to help support it. If you like what I do here and want to help support it, why don't you consider joining the Patreon, link in the description below. Otherwise, you can click on one of these videos here that YouTube thinks you'd like, and that helps out a lot too. Alright, well, you figure out which one you're going to watch? I literally have to go catch a plane. I'll see you soon.